All right, guys. So this is something I wanted to try starting this week. I thought of doing something live instead of my pre-recorded videos. We're going to call this Sippin Tea with Kabani. So I didn't know exactly how this is going to play out. So I actually put together a little bit of a PowerPoint and I wanted to share with you, not to get into too much detail or anything, but now that I'm trying to record this, I'm finding out some issues, whereas you can't really see that screen, right? My screen over there. So everything looks kind of backwards. But what I'm going to do is I'll try to make it as stable as possible. And when we need to get over to the other side, I'll flip the camera back around. Basically, the whole purpose of me doing this is, like I mentioned, I do a lot of recorded videos and we put them up on YouTube and Facebook and whatnot. But I figured if we do something live, we'd make it a little bit more interactive. And if you guys have questions, I'll do my best to answer it. I haven't really played around with this live function too much, so I'm still learning about it. And obviously, use your guys' help today to figure out if this camera was sideways or not. But it's something I got to work out over time. Realistically, what I wanted to do is, really, I am sipping my tea over here as well. So I'm going to pour some of that out for myself. Sitting in my home office today. And really quickly, what I just wanted to do was I wanted to go over what the market has been looking like. And I don't want to boring either. Realistically, just a high level view. Sometimes what I find is that when the media is putting out this information, a lot of times they want to get this information out there because it's news ratings and they kind of have to use catchy headlines in order to get people's attention and information. And sometimes the numbers look a little bit skewed. So I just want to quickly kind of go over some of the market stats and show you guys some real examples of what I've actually experienced myself as well. So like I said, we're calling this Sippin Tea with Kabani. So I hope you guys have had your tea ready to sip with me. Realistically, what I wanted to go over first of all is that the reason for me doing this obviously is that none of this is supposed to be a sales pitch. It's really to deliver the information out to people in a real and honest way, and to have fun and have interactions with people, and whatever value I can deliver to people, that's what I'm actually looking to do over here. So I'm going to flip my screen just for a second over here. So realistically, what I wanted to go over quickly here with you guys is just the market overview. And I really wanted to compare 2019 versus 2020 in April, because a lot of people are looking at these type of numbers. And I know this is a bit of a chart over here for you guys to look at, but I'm going to just zoom in and show you guys what I think was kind of important about this. So I really looked at Toronto and I looked at Durham. These are really my markets, especially Durham is one of my big markets. So what I wanted to show you guys is different types. There are different types of homes. So like there's semi-detaches, linked properties, but I really focused on the three main categories here. And what I really just want to show you guys at a high level here is the sales. So if you look at the sales over here, I'm trying to get this glare out of the way. Sorry, guys. Not really having much luck with it. But if you look at the apartment or the condo sales over here, you see the sales of the townhouse, detaches, everything is down about 70% over here. And that's year over year. So we're down 70%. But if you see something over here, the average price is not really down much. So we've got, between a 2 and a 8% decrease in pricing. And then if you look at the new listings, and that's a really key thing I wanted to point out to you guys is that, look, we're hearing all about, oh, the sales are down, the sales are down. Oh, like a lot of doom and gloom about the market actually being down. Yeah, the number of transactions are down. But if we look at the price compared to what we're dealing with in this world situation, I don't think that's too bad over here of what we're dealing with in terms of price. And realistically, why I think this is all holding on, and I think a lot of you guys will agree with me, is really it's about the new listings. So the new listings and the active listings that have come to market. So if we look at the new listings over here, in 2019 versus 20, look at the new listings. So in terms of condos, we're down about 52%, 71% in new listings, and 71% in detached homes. So the active listings, look, even our inventory position has lowered from April 2019 versus 20. So So even we have 22% less condos, 35% less townhouses, 45%, almost 46% less detached homes. This is in Toronto, guys. An average number of days to sell, you see it going from 17 to 18, not a big deal, 11 to 15, not a big deal. Sometimes when we see these percentages, the percentages look huge, but look at this. Really, 4 days off in the average sale time for a townhouse. It looks like 36%, 37%, okay? But it's only 4 days, and we're basically even on the condo sales. The other thing I wanted to point out is similar, but it's really about Durham. So same thing in Durham. We're seeing the number of sales are way down, okay, like around 50% in terms across the board, basically. But what we've seen is the average price over here has actually gone up for townhouses, and the detached price, a 1.1% decrease. This is not a huge deal. Now, if we look at the condos, yeah, you're seeing over here that condo sales are down by 10.6%. But something actually happened a little bit weird in March, and I can show you that a little bit later on. But this price over here for 2020 for April was actually a lot lower. And there's another slide I'm going to show you guys that. And so it basically is going to end up being a wash. Again, new listings are completely down. Active listings are down as well. Average number of days, again, we're not doing too bad on average number of days either. So realistically, guys, sorry about my camera here. So realistically, what I'm seeing across the board over here, just to kind of recap what I've been trying to show you, is that we're not really seeing a huge decrease in pricing over here. Main reason this is happening is it's basic supply and demand. So because our active listings and new listings have kind of stayed down, we're not really seeing too much of a decrease in pricing. I think really what we're seeing the decrease in pricing is, of course, there's a pandemic going on over here. So I think people are hesitant to go out, of course, and hesitant to list their properties. One example I've shared with people is like in 2017. In 2017, we really saw the market come down. The reason we saw the market really come down in 2017, around April, was the provincial government did come out with some new regulations, and of course that cooled down things a lot. But this was something that was going to happen in 2017 no matter what. The market was extremely hot, started to heat up really hot in 2015. All of 2016 was a really hot market. A majority of the reason that is because there was very low amount of inventory throughout 2016, and going into 2017 was not so great. So the inventory was basically very low, and people were paying ridiculous amounts of money for these houses. There's only so much you can push like this until the bubble's going to pop. And that bubble was going to pop, whether in my opinion anyways, whether the provincial government did something about it or not, it was going to go down. What we also saw was we saw prices come down quite a bit in April 2017 when the market actually went down. And the reason because that happened is that what we saw was inventory started to increase so much. So even though the market was hot in 2017 in February, March, but what we were seeing actually increase in inventory. So when it started to come around like February, March, we all kind of that are watching the numbers knew that something was going to happen over here, and we got to take our foot off the gas, especially with our buyers that were out there in the marketplace. So aside from that, what happened is that a lot of people in 2017 panicked, and what they did was they all listed their houses all at the same time. People that were interested, actually needing to sell, I think got the short end of the stick over here in 2017, because people that were just trying to get maximum amount of money for their house, if I get this crazy number, I'm going to sell it, and they knew the market was starting to come down, they all just listed their places. So what happened was we had a massive spike in inventory, and it became a buyer's market because we went over 21,000, I think almost 22,000 listings available for sale, whereas we had somewhere around like 7,000 listings available for sale prior to that. So we basically tripled our inventory, and of course there's going to be a lot of inventory out there, and just the uncertainty in the marketplace, the buyers were really not coming out and not willing to pay top dollar for these properties anymore. So compared to 2017 versus what we've kind of seen happen over here, we saw the inventory kind of stabilize and stay stable. Since we kind of went into this over here, what I've noticed is that we were actually I think we're going to be in a very hot market for 2020. But what ended up happening is that it actually started, let me back up, in 2019 in September. So September, October, November, December, January, February, even at the beginning of March, it was really hot. We were putting properties up and they were going through into multiple offers, a lot of them. But what ended up happening is that as soon as the pandemic really got real here in Ontario and things started to shut down mid-March, and that's when the market started to come down in terms of number of transactions as well. But the inventory stayed stable. Not only did it stay stable, but there were people that actually removed their homes from the market as well, which really helped out. So the real buyers and sellers out there could do the transaction that they needed to do. And there wasn't so much noise in the marketplace. I just want to share this other quick slide with you guys over here. And this is just a detailed breakdown in Pickering. It's March versus April. And I think March versus April is very important because this is where we really saw a shift. I want to point out that in March, we actually had a very strong first half of March and a really weak end of March or the last part of March. And then April, it's been really starting to pick up in April. And what I've done over here is that I just wanted to show you guys in pieces over here so we're not overwhelming you with information. So really, this is Pickering. I've selected a couple of these home types over here, the basic ones, the condos, the townhouses, and the detached homes. And really what I want to show you over here is the number of sales, how the number of sales are down. So even if we look at this on a detailed look, so we're seeing that the number of transactions are down between 50 and 75%. So whereas in March we did 16 transactions, in April we did only 4 transactions for condo townhouses. Over here is the average price. So the average price over here is basically, we saw it come up on the condo or the condo market in Pickering. So if we look at March, the March was about 475 on average sale, and April was 531 or 532. But I made a note over here. So in February, if we back this up for a second, we were actually at 535. So if you see that 12% increase in the condo market in Pickering, I think that's just a blip because of the February number. So, or the March number was kind of low for some reason. But sometimes this happens when we break it down. But I really don't think we had a 12% increase just based on the statistical data I've been looking at. But if we look at the average prices for townhomes, they're down about 1.2% and about 6.8% on the detached homes. Now, again, this is the key to all of this, I would say, is when we're looking at new listings. So when we're looking at these new listings, we're seeing that number of new listings that actually came out to the market in March and April are down. So we're not really getting more new listings over here. So we're down anywhere between 40 and 67% in listings. This is very good to help us keep our prices very strong. Mind you, it makes it very tough for buyers that are trying to enter the market. Over here, the active number of listings. So the active number of listings have increased month over month. And I would say is because in April, we started to see a little bit of a relief. So people did start to come back to the market in April. So March, middle of March, it really kind of slowed down. And then towards the end of April, we started to see things pick back up. Even in number of appointments with our brokerage, we saw it pick up quite a bit. Average number of days, I just wanted to put this out there too. So we've gone from on a condo town or a condo from, increased by 3 days or 7 days. Detached is basically flat. So this gives you an indication that things are still selling and prices are not like completely down. There is this one example I really wanted to kind of give you guys, okay? And then I'll flip the screen over back to me. But the real example is this, 10 Cooperage Lane. So I want to show you guys this listing in detail a little bit. So this was a townhouse in Ajax. This is an awesome client of mine. I really enjoy working with these guys. So we put up their condo townhouse, or it's a freehold with common elements at 10 Cooperage Lane. So we listed this property March 12th, okay? Listing price, $499. And we sold it the next day, March 13th, it was sold. We had a deposit check and everything was good. And we sold it for $555, okay? So we sold it for $56,000 over asking in one day. This is March 12th. I would tell you guys that this is roughly when everything kind of went down, okay? Around this time. So we got very lucky on timing on this one. The next one over here, yes, look at this. The picture looks awesome and everything else like that. This is 68 Cooperage Lane. This is actually in the same complex, same layout, same everything, like down to the features. We're basically talking about the same house, okay? And we still managed to get this thing staged before a lot of our stagers closed down. So we listed this, first of all, I want to show you March 28th. let me flip back. So this was March 12th that we listed the other house, and this is March 28th that we listed this house. So not that much of a time difference. So we tried the same strategy here, guys. So we tried to go $499 on this property, and I'll flip this back to me. So we try to go $499 on this property, similar type of thing. So we ended up having it on the market because I know the market changed. So I'm not going to put it out there for 7 or 10 days and just hope I get lucky on it. I did a very short time frame of where we're going to look at offers on this property, listed it at $499, and we ended up getting one offer after 4 days. And basically the offer came in, I'll tell you guys, it came in at $525, and I felt that was very low. My client's really looking for my feedback on all of this and trusting me with what they need to do with this property. My advice was not to sell this property at this time. I felt like we could get more money for this property and it wasn't worth selling it at that time, as long as they were okay on timing, which they were. So it worked out in our favor. So after we only got that one offer, we immediately listed the property again. We listed the property this time for $549,900. So basically $550 is what we listed this property for. And the showings absolutely were not there at all at the end of March and even at the beginning of April. Then what we started to see, and I'm going to check the date here. So around like April, I would say around April 18th, April 20th kind of thing, we really started to see more people come back to the marketplace. And all of a sudden, this house was getting showings of, I would say, maybe one, maybe two showings a week. We ended up to getting, 12 showings over a weekend. And that's when we were able to generate an offer on it after doing some follow-up with the agents. So we ended up, long story short, we ended up selling this property for $545,000. So we sold it, we listed it for $550, call it. We sold it for $545, and it took 31 days. So I just did a quick comparison slide over here, and I want to show it to you guys. So really, what was the difference between these two houses on Cooperage Lane? The main difference over here was it took 30 days longer to sell the house, and it was $10,000 less, about 1.8% less. And I think that if we look at what I've been talking about, it's pretty much... Hello, sorry guys. I don't know what happened there. My phone was trying to reconnect. Hopefully you guys are still there. But yeah, so overall, we saw a very small decrease. What I see going forward, and I could be wrong, I think that the May numbers are going to be very, very, very interesting. I believe they will be out within the first 7 days of June. But I think the May numbers will be very interesting. I'm looking forward to putting together something of the similar kind of search or the similar type of outlook I did for you guys. I want to try to line up, February, March, April, and May. And I think that's going to give us a really good indication of where we're going from here. I think a lot of it is contingent upon where this COVID thing goes overall. The provincial government is starting to open up things. So if that continues to go well and they keep things open and we don't see a spike in number of cases, I think we will probably have a pretty strong next few months. We're already starting to see that. I think people are starting to warm up to the fact of, trading in real estate again. The inquiries I've received over the last week have been tremendous compared to what they have been over the last month or so. So I know a lot of people are looking to put their houses up and a lot more buyers are coming out. So one question do I get a lot, and I think from the numbers that I've shared with you guys, is that are there crazy deals because of this pandemic? I would tell you at this point still there is no crazy deals. Not to say, how this is all going to shape up, how long this is going to go out, and how it's all going to transpire at the end of it. So I just want to say, hey, thank you guys all for tuning in and bearing with me while I figure out my camera issues. Try to make it a little bit more smoother next time. And I'm also thinking about trying to bring on the stager Sadia with the property stagers that I work with. Try to see if we can give some staging advice, especially around your home office. So I haven't talked to her about this yet, but maybe this is something that we can do. We want to try to do, maybe if you guys want to send in a picture of your home office, DM it to me or leave it in the comments. We could try to put it up live and try to get some feedback from a really good stager. Aside from that, let me know what you guys want to hear from me. I got a lot of cool information I've planned out for the next few weeks, and we'll see how this goes. But again, thanks for joining me, guys, and hope you guys like it. Leave me your comments, feedback, whatever you guys want to see changed about this or what information you guys want me to talk about. Hope you guys all enjoy your Sunday and have a great day. Take care.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.